where do you find your passion or your why? How do you do that? I'm a factory worker, and I've always thought all my life, I've tried different aspects to find something that gave me a reason to get out of bed excited or even want to get out of bed.
I understand.
How do you do that? Where do
Let's
you?
play. Let's play.
Okay.
Let's go into the mindset of the following. What do you tend to like to do when you're not working?
The last few years, sleep.
Right, because you're depressed. Yeah, no, I get it. Because you're depressed and you're like not in that great place, but that's okay.
Well, I don't want to use this as an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
I deal with clinical depression. I've been for 15 years trying to find different medications and nothing's worked. So basically, my medication for my depression is watching videos like yours and other motivational speakers.
And does that work? That entertains you? That makes you feel like you're living vicariously through it? You feel like that one video might get you going? You're looking for it? Like what? How does that work for you?
Well, yeah. It just kind of gives me that, okay, there's something better out there. There's something.
Well, there is.
I'm missing.
Scott, you know what's cool? And it's not about you missing. Couple things. You're going to really like this answer, brother. The first thing I need you to do with all my heart is realize how much you have an entire another life to live. You need to know that. You have like from the day you were born to today is the amount of time minimally you're probably like in the ballpark of what you're going to live. Why I think that's important is that, Scott, you and I grew up in a generation where, like, remember when we were 16, 17, like 49, 44 seemed like 1,000.
Right.
But now that we're here, it's like, wait a minute, like it's not that 1,000, like there's still some real life to go. So I think first and foremost, you have to realize how much is in front of you. And it actually doesn't matter the last 15 years, what happened from 34 back, it actually doesn't. And what I mean by that is, and why I'm so excited we're here together, brother, I really am. I'm really genuinely, passionately optimistic about this moment, is I think we're gonna spend a few minutes here and like chip away. And I understand, I talk to a lot of people theoretically in different scenarios that may be similar, maybe, because everyone's got different nuances. Stick with me here. So let's take away let's take away the last couple of years. Let's take away the motivational videos in general, whether it's sports or music or food, or give me a history lesson of Scotty O, like of things that you've kind of liked, wrestling, boxing, like anything.
I've tried to find that answer myself, and I used to love to camp and stuff like that. When I was younger, I was in the military. I was pretty physically active. I was always on the go. I was not one that just sit. I couldn't sit. I was always on the go. In the last 10, 15 years, there's been nothing. Nothing. I have nothing that I can find that just gets me, that makes me want to pick up and go.
Talk to me about your inner circle, positive or negative?
I don't have much of an inner circle.
Yep.
In fact, for example, I had 4 happy birthday wishes. One was my wife, one was my ex-wife, and then my stepson and my son, and in that order. And, that was about it. So, I used to have more of a circle. I enjoy being around people. I generally I'm not a people person anymore.
I understand, because when inside it's not a good thing, it's hard to like make the outside work.
Right.
I totally have empathy for that. Let me ask you another question, Scott. Do you have any social media accounts?
Just a Facebook account.
And are you active on that?
That's usually where I get my video content.
Do you comment?
Occasionally, not a lot.
Positive or more razzing?
Well, I usually don't comment unless someone is like attacking someone for something, and then it kind of aggravates me, and then I jump in.
I love that. You defend people.
Yeah, that's something that's one thing that I've always done. I've always liked to help people and stand up for the little guy. That's just my thing.
Me too. I like that. I like the little Robin Hood or like the bully buster.
Well, sometimes it has to be done.
I agree, my man. I'm just so genuinely happy you're on here with me. Here's a good one. What in my content has resonated with you, if anything? I've seen
I
something if we're
think the
here.
biggest thing is you just seem to you're not judgmental. I mean, you're straightforward. I like that. I like the fact that you don't sugarcoat nothing. You know, I myself, if you got something to say to me, I just want the truth. I don't be easy with me, but don't be gentle. But I think that you genuinely are trying to help people, and you're not necessarily trying to do it to benefit yourself.
Yeah, thank you. You clearly have good emotional intelligence. You're right. And and I just I'm in it, I wish everybody could feel my chemicals right now in this moment, because I'm so happy and I'm so conscious, because I genuinely believe that through words, amazing things can happen. First of all, I think it's nice to have four family and ex-wife, son-in-law, four is better than zero.
Right, right.
I really mean that. There's just an ungodly amount. I'm just very grateful too. I appreciate you saying I'm not judgmental. That meant a lot to me. It was a very good observation, because you also followed it up with being candorous and trying to shoot it, because Scott, I'll be honest with you, man, life is so fun. You know what this makes me think a lot about? Momentum. I think a lot about momentum. I think about it all the time. I love sports. So basketball's super funny. I don't know if you've ever watched it or you follow it, but one team can go on a 13-0 run, then there's a timeout. You kind of gather yourself. Then that team can go on a big run, the other
Right.
team. And I think life is about momentum. And I think a lot about fear too. I was very fear-based in a lot of things as a kid, like swimming, riding bikes, kissing a girl. They were scary to me. And I was late. I was a late bloomer across the board on all three of those things. And then you do it and it becomes normalized. And one of the things I'm running through I'm talking to you on the corner of my eye right over here. There's a stream of 10,000 people that want to be your friend. You can't see it. It's in the live streams. I've got a stream that shows me Julian and Lizette and MB and Oded and Scarlett all on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, all I love this guy. I want to be Scott's friend. I root for this guy. I want to be Scott's friend. And so I sit here and I'm like, man, this is just a good old fashioned game of positive energy momentum. You were 34 when this kicked in, like you said, for the last 15 years, right?
Right, yeah.
I gotta tell you, and I mean this, Scott, I am completely convinced with my entire soul that this is the moment that it can just start in the other direction.
My question is, being pretty much the person who is leading the way of not just, with my legacy that I want to create for my family, I know that it took a long time for you to build that business for your dad. And right now, obviously, my family's broke. My family's broke. And I'm over here thinking, all right, I'm in this new business with an agency.
Cam, you're going to lose if you want to go fast.
That's my question.
I know. I almost interrupted you. I already had the answer. The answer is slow. And that goes countercultural, because every day that goes by is another day that you envision them struggling.
Exactly.
But Cam, I'm going to throw a real bomb at you that you, as an immigrant, know, and a lot of other people here who've come from immigrant or humble beginnings. They're not struggling as much as you think.
Yeah.
Because when your context is your life, and your life is your context, you now know what you want them to have here in America, but they haven't tasted that yet. So you're creating an ideology of pressure, I've got to get my grandma, my mom, my aunt, over here so they can have it good in America. But they're not struggling as much as you create in your mind, because that's their reality. I wasn't struggling when I had way less. I was happy.
Yeah.
And if you try to go fast, you're going to cut corners and actually lose.
That's how I feel about the situation. I'm new to the
you have to reframe the situation. If your perspective is that you have to go fast for them, instead of you have to go slow to ever pull it off, and that these next 3 years they'll still be super fine, because that's where they're from. That's what they know.
Yeah.
Do you understand? This is where immigrants in America always get caught. But Gary, I got to get my family here. I'm like, how bad is it? Are they like in jail? Are they in a dangerous zone? Are they in a war zone, a drug zone? And 9 out of 10 times they're not. They're like, yeah, but they're running water. I'm like, but they've always known the running water wasn't great. Yeah, but they, I want them to have new clothes. I'm like, but they've lived in the same clothes forever. Like, we can't impose a capitalistic, wealthiest country in the world on them because they're content. Of course they'd love to be here more because they just miss you. Not because they want to eat a fucking Shake Shack.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I know.
I miss them. I haven't seen them in 13 years.
You need to go back and see them. You need to worry about going slow and flipping some shit on eBay to save for a plane ticket, not to fucking win the lottery. You're going for the Hail Mary.
Exactly.
Don't. You could have seen them twice if you had the perspective I'm trying to have you have. This isn't about you fucking bringing them over and having a mansion that everybody lives in. That's your ego talking.
No, you're absolutely right, and of course, I'm obviously going to work hard and
I believe it.
Obviously giving my all, develop every single day so that I can become that person that I ought to become. And just like you said, I listened to everything that you mentioned, the humility, the patience, the strategy, and, I definitely got to be patient, because right now I'm in the business and everybody's going super fast. They're messaging, they're DMing people 200-300 messages. And I'm over here thinking, I don't want to be a spam, but at the same time, I don't know like how to go about it, how to go about the branding part.
By making content.
Yeah.
I made content for so long before anybody came. But you also can do side stuff. You can save money. You can find money. That's why I love camp. Why I love the flipping stuff. If you got that in you, like that's the quickest way to make $3,000 is Goodwill and garage sales.
Yeah.
And immigrants have the humility to go and drive and pick up shit.
Exactly. And right now, I actually did that. Matter of fact, I did flip a lot of things on OfferUp, Let Go. I tried to eBay. It went pretty well. I did sell some stuff, and I like that concept of going out and picking up random things and then flipping it for more.
I'm telling you right now, every year you can go to Peru. Every year you can go to Peru if you garage sale every weekend for a couple hours and ship out some stuff on the week. I'm telling you right now, you can.
Yeah. And I'm gonna do that. No, seriously, because I have to go back to Peru and see my family.
You have to.
It has to happen.
You have to. You want to go back when you've already did something. Like you're trying to be a hero. Just be a family member.
I know, and that's the thing. Like every now and then, my mom is struggling, so she asks, for money, and I'm obviously gonna have it. But my story, my backside of the story, I went homeless for almost 2 years, and I'm still decorating my apartment. I'm still trying to, obviously build myself up and build my my blueprint. And so I got into the business of insurance and finances, and I love it. I'm learning more about money and things like that. Now I'm not like, I have to, like money is life, happiness is not. It's about the process, what you're doing for families too. But that leads to the question as well. Like everybody's going super fast, everybody's building up a big team, and I'm over here doing my thing, creating content, branding myself, obviously providing as much value as possible. But I don't know if that's a good strategy to be DMing 200-300 people a day.
Here's the good news. Why don't you DM 100 people a day, offer some value, do it a little less spammy, and see what it feels like. When you don't know the answer, you have to do. What most people do in life is when they don't know the answer, they debate it in their own head and do nothing. They look at other people who've done it and do whatever they said without contextualizing how it impacts them. I don't want anybody to do anything I say other than live their life fully themselves the way I do, and at least hear out the tactics that I put out that might bring value and see if it brings value, not debate if it does or blindly believe that it does. So the answer to your question on that is try it for a week and see what it feels like. And if you feel spammy and gooky and ugly, then stop.